What is up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. We are about 5 to 6 days, I think 6 days into the contest prep for the Arnold Classic UK. And we are at home at the moment, obviously, going to have some breakfast. And with me is a little Dexter. He already had some breakfast, and then it is time for my own breakfast. And later on, we also need to do some fasted cardio. But he already requires quite a lot of energy. And he's also acquired a flavor, a taste, for these little things. Cashew nuts. So he wants those every single day, pretty much at every single meal. But hey, it's better than that. I mean, it's better to have him snack on those than candy or something. Anyway, let me show you the breakfast of today. Cream of rice being the first ingredient, 130 grams, just like that. Second ingredient, nice and salty. That means nice and electrolytely, minerally, to add enough health aspects and muscle building aspects in that way. A little bit of sweetener, because this cream of rice is literally just cream of rice with no flavor attached. Water. Around 450 mils of water. Make sure to stir it up. Stir it up with a whisker. So whisk it up. Make it one smooth creation. Just like that. Blueberries. Around 120 grams. Stir it up as well. Tell about chocolate, very important ingredient, around 15 grams. And we have this done, and now it's time for the whey paste. Okay, for the whey paste, we have some whey right here, a vanilla flavor, putting that in here. Yep, just like that, around 60 grams. Now we need to add some water. You can use something like this for perfection. As you can see, the milliliters are stated on here, so we're gonna go to around 50 mils here. Putting it in. Just like that. And then, use a baby spoon to stir it up. Just like that. And you can see that it becomes kind of a paste. You don't want it too thick, you don't want it too thin, you want it just right. And guess what, guys? This is just right. You can see, this is exactly the kind of paste you want. Now put this in the fridge while you do some other stuff for like 5 to 10 minutes, and it will be absolutely perfection. And all that's left then is put in, look at this, it's firmed up, whey paste into here. Let's do it and show you the end result. And that, my friends, is cream of rice with whey frosting, aka whey paste. So that's how to make it. I will make an even more detailed video on how to make a variants of this, different versions of this, more volume of this, because this is still the lean bulking version, but I'll be doing the cutting and contest prep version soon, because guess what? I am in contest prep. But anyway, let's enjoy this and then head to the gym. All right, guys, we have arrived at the gym. You already saw my breakfast. And also in Stefan Kienzel's plan is a pre-workout shake. And that shake is 100 grams of cream of rice, or just rice powder, and 40 grams of whey and a banana, which I had about an hour ago, and then I had a pre-workout, so fully carved up for the workout, and that's very important during prep. But anyway, today is a back workout. As you saw, I have prepared this exercise, and we're not going to do it with both arms, we're going to do it with one arm at a time, and I'm also going to log every single lift, because right now it's very important to maintain strength. And the only way to maintain all of your muscle during a contest prep is by maintaining strength or even increasing strength, ensuring your muscle will stay full and present, which is very important. So let's warm up first with a couple of warm-up sets and then get started with the real weights. So start with the weaker side first, the left side, and you want to go with your elbow, you want to keep it, your shoulder, you want to keep it low. Some people do this, but you want to keep it low in order to only target the lats, because here the contraction is amazing. And if you go all the way up, you can do this, but then you passively stretch it. If you do this, you actively have it under tension, which is better for mind-muscle connection, muscle growth, and a better stimulus to fatigue ratio. And in my opinion, it is very important to start a workout with an exercise you really have a good mind-muscle connection with, because even in the very first warm-up set with a lightweight, I already right now feel kind of a pump coming in the muscle that I'm trying to train here. And if you don't, if it's very difficult to feel a mind-muscle connection or a pump in the first movement, I would not pick that as the first movement at all. Just pick one that you feel very good. Set up the workout right from the get-go and then continue from there. The big benefit here, guys, in 100% Fit Gym, we had this cable machine for a long time. You can see they are individual pulleys here, which allows you to do this kind of movement a lot easier, better, and really align your lats with the pulley itself, which is a big benefit. Okay guys, so I have my phone here and it's time for the working set. So here I have the weight and the reps logged. Last time was actually quite a while ago that I logged this, so in the middle of the off season I did 12 reps of 78 kilos. So now I have 78 kilos here. We're gonna try to match or beat that, and that will then be the new benchmark for me to adhere to for the entire prep. Either minimal that amount of reps or more, so let's go. All right, very good. I did one rep more, actually, than that I logged last time. So, very smart to do is right now log this amount, and we're gonna do 2 more sets here. And then we have 3 working sets, and we know how many reps, we know how many kilos we did, and we have to keep adhering to that amount. The moment we can't anymore, we lower the volume to be able to conserve energy for maximum muscular strength, because ultimately it will be that will retain muscle more than doing tons of volume, which is a mistake a lot of people make. Very important here, rest periods in between the sets need to be enough for your heart rate to come down, for you not to breathe heavily anymore, for not to feel fatigue in the muscle anymore. Otherwise, you would skip a couple of reps, you wouldn't be able to do a couple of reps you would have been able to do if you had a 1 minute more rest. And resting between sets doesn't hurt, guys. It only allows you to lift more weight, which allows you to gain more muscle. So let's go. I believe it was around the same amount of reps, I think 12, so very close to the original set, which proves that rest periods, taking your time with them is very important. Now for the third working set, we're going lighter in weight, going for around 15 plus reps to have two different rep ranges we can focus on, the 8 to 12 rep range and the 15 to 20 rep range. So let's rest and go again. Very good form, very good execution, but most importantly, you have to feel the muscle. $18 reps right in the middle of the 15 and 20 rep range, so a very good number to track. And now we have 3 good sets for this exercise to track. And during contest prep, you always want to choose exercises that feel very good, that you know that won't bother you after a while. Even when you weigh like 10 kilos less, you're still able to brace yourself properly. Chest support always really helps, so let's go to the next movement. This one I love very much, the wide grip T-bar row with an ATX golden bar, an ATX wide grip for the T-bar row, and the ATX plate. And actually the thin plates really help here. They bring the center of gravity closer to your body, because with the bumper plates, if you would do 100 kilos, you would have to add 4-5 plates of 20, and because they are so thick, the center of gravity will be pushed forward and it will be more difficult for your lower back to handle the load. So with this you can stand over the center of gravity, which makes it feel a lot more natural, and this wide grip ensures for a better range of motion. Always do a couple of arms here, guys. It's a free, kind of more of a free weight. Of course, it's attached to that, but it feels like a free weight movement. And then multiple muscles are engaged to stabilize your body, such as the lower back. And for me, that's always a sensitive spot if I'm not careful. So always warm up a couple of times to feel if everything is correct, feels all right, and then bump up the weight to the working set. Still easy. Let's add another 20 kilo plate. Final warm up, and now it's time for the working set. One final plate of 20 will be added, and then we're gonna go to failure. Alrighty guys, so last time on this T-bar row, I did 10 reps of 100 kilos, obviously with good form. So for most people this sounds light, but it's not light with perfect form. So we are going to try to match or even beat this. And from then on, just like the first movement, that's going to be our benchmark for the rest of the prep. So let's go. Okay guys, now it's time to take off the pump cover. Usually you do this when you feel nicely warmed up and the pump is present in the muscle you want to train. So we are going to go to the second working set now with a plate less and go to failure. And now the goal is above 15 reps. So 3 working sets of this, and now we're gonna do another row because most of the exercises on back for me, our rowing movements to improve the thickness. Seated row time. And as you can see, I have two different grips. On the T-bar row, we just did a wide grip. So now I'm going for a medium grip here. This feels very good for the contraction, also for the stretch here. But here I want to focus more on the contraction because literally the range of motion here isn't suitable for a complete stretch of the erector muscles, but it is for the rhomboids. So that's what I want to train here. We're only going to do one warm-up here, and from then straight to the walking set. As many reps as possible, guys. The moment the contraction and the squeeze fails, stop this set. There's no use otherwise. Okay, so this first walking set felt pretty heavy, and I don't want to put unnecessary strain on my body in that way, but at least one set is very good to keep in there. But in this particular movement, I removed 10 kilos actually from this stack, but it allows you to do quite a lot more reps with better form even, so let's go. Opa. So that was 12 reps, which is, in my opinion, very good for this amount of weight. And of course, we're gonna log these lifts as well, these weights, these sets. And next time on this movement as well, I can get stronger because I used to be a lot stronger here. And I'm gonna lock in these kinds of movements that feel very good for me. The off season is, about 75% consistency, but 25% finding out movements that work even better for you. So that's why in the off season you can have a bit more variety, in my opinion, but only to find out what works even better than what you've been doing before. So let's again remove a little bit more weight to try and get 15 plus reps, because that's also a rep range we need to log. Okay, we are going to create a nice perfect row. So for the perfect row, which is chest supported, we need something that is shoulder width. So how does it differ from the medium row we just did? Well, it's a different movement, it's chest supported, it's slightly different angle, and that's enough to make it an entirely different movement. So let's attach this left side to the left side of the gym pin attachment. And that's awesome because you can make it exactly as wide as your shoulders, just about. So I'm gonna grab it like this, then attach it, I know, to around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. So you have 4 of these left. Do the same on the other side. And then I know that's the width I will adhere to for the rest of the prep. Kaboom. And now we start with a very heavy weight right from the get-go. And now, very important, adding a dumbbell to the bench to make sure it doesn't slip away. Kaboom. And then we need a towel on the bench for hygienic purposes, of course. This is one of those movements where you can get very strong at, and it also feels very good. The contraction is amazing. So once again, the main difference with the seated row we did before, you feel it more in the lower back. Here you can really literally feel it in between the shoulder blades. So different angle, different musculature stimulus. nice thing about having this grip is you can use it for an exercise like the cable pullover as well, because this is a nice width to use. These handles are great and it gives you extra space to contract and pull back the arm. So let's do this. Whew. Now it's time for some rear delts. And the gym pin usage doesn't stop there, because we're using it now on this cable pulley for face pulls. One of my favorite motions to still use a relatively heavy weight, but to concentrate on the rear delts. Because you always want to train, in my opinion, the rear delts right after the back, because otherwise it's a wasted opportunity. They're warm now, they're already worked, so you might as well work them even more for muscle growth, because the rear delts need to be quite big to balance themselves out with the rest of your arm and the shoulder. Small muscle groups won't be isolated if the weight is too heavy. Because if I do very heavy rows like this, yeah, it becomes a row because your traps are then starting to work, and it becomes a face pull when truly the rear delts are being activated, which is right now the case. Okay, this is a bicep movement, and ironically still using this gym pin, because once you've got this thing you can do a lot of things in succession, especially in a back workout and biceps now. So I put it around shoulder width, just at a width that feels natural. You can always change it after you've done a couple of warm-up sets by just starting out light and standing as much over it as possible, because the more you stand over it, the bigger the tension is at the top. So let's just warm up a couple of times and then go to failure here. All right, let's see if this is set to failure. It's twice as heavy as the warm-up, so let's go. And as I always say, biceps should be at least 12 reps or 12 plus, and only beneath that, if you can get really good peak connection, bicep mind muscle connection, but otherwise it will not prove right for the stimulus to fatigue ratio, meaning you will fatigue the rest of your body so much more just to be able to do a couple more reps, and the danger of irritating the bicep tendon is not worth it either. So you're better off going a little lighter, more volume, focus on mind muscle connection, than going too heavy. Hup. Oh, I'm really glad I don't feel any bicep pain anymore, because now without hesitation you can go to failure and you feel no irritation at all. It really sucks when you do, because it ruins every single back workout and you're only limited to a couple of bicep movements, which you don't want. So be careful with your body, guys. With biceps, I like to stick to the same weight usually. If I can't do enough reps, that's only when I go lighter, but I rarely go heavier when I start a working set, so let's go. One of my favorites to do, the close grip preacher curl, bicep curl. So this one, especially at the end of the workout, you shouldn't do heavy. If you go heavy, as I always say, it's only going to cause injuries later on. So, you know, heavy is of course relative to what you're able to do. So it has to feel pretty light at the first couple of reps, because it gets exponentially more difficult if you have a very good peak contraction, because the biceps simply aren't very strong muscles, guys. People tear them all the time. The chest and the biceps are very sensitive, so don't try to do more weight than you know you can do. So let's focus on the peak contraction. Oh. Ah, yes, the only lactic acid production is felt in the biceps. No front delts, nothing else, no forearms, only the biceps. That is exactly what you want. So the grip width that I like to use is my index finger goes on this line, and that allows me the same grip every single time. And it's nice and close, because you can see closer than shoulder width, which allows me to target the outer bicep peak a bit more, creating that bicep peak. So the outer bicep head right now is being targeted slightly more, and that slightly more targeting will cause it over years to become bigger. So that will create the best possible bicep peak you can create. So it's not gonna be perfect, but it's better than nothing. Alright guys, that was the back, rear delt and bicep workout. And now it is time for the post-workout meal during the first week of the contest prep. Let's go. As I mentioned before, right now my post-workout meal is quick absorbing carbohydrates. So what we have here is a combination of different cereals. You have some cornflakes, we have some Frosties, you have some Kellogg's Smacks, and we're going to combine all of them into this bowl to 120 grams. I'm not sure if this is blasphemy to combine all of these together, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then add some whey, vanilla flavor, 60 grams to this. 40 grams actually, which is on the plan. And yeah, enjoy this. I'll add a banana. Why? Because I actually did not eat this banana before the training, because it would have been too much for my stomach to handle, because it only had like 45 minutes before the training to drink that shake and the banana. For me, that wouldn't result in a good back training, so I'm deciding to eat it now. So let's create it and show you. And here it is, a nice big bowl of cereal. As you can see, I actually had to add some honey pops, I believe, because I didn't have enough of the Kellogg's Smacks anymore. So this is a combination of 4 different cereals with just a bit of water and the whey added as well. Also a little bit of salt in here to make sure my electrolyte stores are replenished. And yeah, let's enjoy this one. And guys, I just really want to thank you for watching this video, because it means a lot to me that you're watching the channel, making it grow and get back to its golden status once again. And yeah, I'm going to show you everything regarding this prep, so let me know what you want to see. Just like every video, I like to know what you guys think, what you thought of this video, what else you want to see, what other topics you want me to cover, because there's still a lot more coming, but who knows what might be very popular that you guys still want to see that I haven't come up with. So let me know. Once again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out vintagegenetics.com, and don't forget to stay golden.